All right, hello everyone. Hello Zoom GOG and folks here with us in person. First off, I want to introduce myself. I'm Kevin Krasnow. I'm the co-president with Mike here of the Jackson Hole Jewish community, and what a privilege it is to sit on the board of such a vibrant community that brings so much to its members. So welcome. Thank you all for attending both virtually and in person to our annual JHJC membership meeting. While this past year contained its share of challenges, there have been so many simchas and bright moments for our community. And today we hope to share with you some of the trends and accomplishments from this year, as well as the challenges faced by our community and how the board of directors and the Jackson Hole Jewish community leadership have attempted to balance community and spirituality with the health and well-being of our congregation. Welcome. We're proud to say that our congregation is growing in membership, in events, in attendance at our events, and in congregational giving. And correspondingly, today we're going to present a budget that reflects the growth of our community and our events. Currently, our membership is 119 paying member units, and that's up almost 10% from last year. Our biggest challenge this year, I would say, has been coming together in community with the health and well-being of our congregation, all during a pandemic. While the pandemic has certainly not been easy, we have found ways to adapt and safe ways to come together. Together with the executive director and religious leadership, the board of directors continues to monitor the situation and make decisions that will best steward the health and well-being of our congregation. This past year, we were lucky enough to celebrate 5 B'nai Mitzvah. Annie Statter started us off. Sarah Dakin had her bat mitzvah, Joel Ravitz, and then most recently Jaden DeMoores, and we will welcome Piper Benjamin to the Bima tomorrow. So please join us at St. John's at 10 a.m. We're so proud of our B'nai Mitzvah. Congratulations to all of our newly minted Jewish adults, as well as their families. We continue to engage our youth with very well-attended Spirit of the Mountain summer camp. That'll be in July again this year, and Beit Sefer after-school classes on Thursdays. This year, Beit Sefer students created a beautiful prayer book for the lovely Beit Sefer-led Shabbat at the Affelberg's house this spring. All right, and the best outcome, I would say, and Mike and I agree on this, the best outcome for our community during COVID was our transition to weekly Shabbats. Before the pandemic, we celebrated 1 or 2 Shabbats per month as a community. And we're so happy to say that this last year, we celebrated every single Shabbat as a community. We averaged anywhere from 30 to 50 congregants each week, both in person and virtual. And last year, the JHJC has engaged over 2,000 folks in our weekly Shabbat services. We've had the annual barbecue Shabbat, the swinging Sabbath, Thanksgiving Sabbath, and my favorite was the Beit Sefer Sabbath. And with this, I'm going to pass it over to Mike to finish the state of the congregation, and then we'll move on to some other orders of business. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, so hi, everyone. So one of the things that happened coincidentally with COVID is that we started doing weekly Torah discussions via Zoom on Saturday mornings. That's been run by our own Josh Clayman and Carl, and it's been incredible. They're getting about 15 people per session, so it's 1.5 million every Saturday, and it's been ongoing. It'll even continue tomorrow, but it'll be in the afternoon rather than the morning because of the bat mitzvah tomorrow. That's about, when you look at the entirety of the year, it's about 700 total engagements with Torah study, which for a community this size is pretty remarkable. So again, thank you to Josh and Carl. We celebrated lots of Jewish holidays, obviously high holidays, Pesach, Sukkot at Lori's. Thank you, Lori, on Zoom. Simchat Torah, Purim, and it's a real priority for us, the board, and for the community to celebrate these holidays, to make them fun, meaningful, and engaging. The board has heard your feedback on that, and we're going to continue to make great holiday events. The high holidays with Rabbi Mike Cummins and Carl Levinson and our own Josh and Judd was outstanding. A terrific Rosh Hashanah party, as always, Mary. We continue doing our cleanup, thanks to Al Zuckerman, who started this many years ago. Twice a year, we clean up a mile of the Teton Moose Wilson Road, the Village Road, and we get our sign out there. The APAC meetings will be in person this year, and it's an honor to have our senators and representative come and speak to a small group. So I would urge people to do that. One of the new things we did this year, and Mary organized this, but out of all the congregations in the United States, and there are thousands of them, an Israeli film crew chose our congregation to come do a film about, along with, I think, one or two others, four groups in the whole United States, and they came here. Of course, it was, there was this much snow and they forgot to bring gloves and hats, but we helped them out. But we had a Challah Shabbat, and it was absolutely lovely, and they were really, really touched by the spirit that lives in our congregation, which is due to all of you. We have a nascent Rosh Chodesh, which we hope to build in years to come. I'm sure we will. Pesach was wonderful. We had actually, for the first time, we actually had two seders, a small day one, night one seder, and then a large community seder afterwards, and both were absolutely fantastic. And our rainmakers, Mary and Janet Bellis, secured a federal security grant from the Department of Homeland Security for $39,000. And so amazing. And this is only for security. We've actually already used it to put in security video cameras, harden the space. It pays for Jackson Hole security. Right. It allows us to also, I think, protect our digital footprint as well. And so it's a really key piece of funding that we received. The funding that everyone else gave us was a bridge to get us here. And of course, we never know if we'll get this again or not. We had an amazing Yom HaShoah speaker. Estelle Nadel came here. She gave 4 talks, 1 public and 3 schools. I personally took her to Driggs High School, where there were probably 700 to 800 people in the audience, and a total of 1,500 people in the Jackson, this valley and Teton Valley that she spoke to directly. Quite an amazing, dynamic woman. We gave out 3 different scholarships this year to graduating seniors, 2 Tikkun Olam, and 1 Maimonides Trade School, which is a first for us. We continue to support the professional development of Mary, who goes to basically conventions where she meets.
Not Vegas.
Not the Vegas, next year. But executive directors from around the United States and maybe Canada, I don't know, come to these, and it generates a lot of new ideas and a lot of new energy. Not that Mary is short on that at all. Judd has also participated, and with the generous support of our community, Josh is also engaged in a program of rabbinical education, and I'm going to let him explain to you what he's learning. But when I heard Steve Zelikovich tell him how much his Hebrew had improved, I knew it was money really, really well spent. So you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Clock is running.
Okay. Wonderful. I just want to start by sharing my gratitude. From the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful for this community, for the support from this community, for my continued education. I've learned so much. I feel as if I am growing so much and rapidly, and I feel like I'm just starting to scratch the surface, which is such a wonderful feeling. I've been in the Aleph rabbinical program, the Aleph ordination program, for a year now. This is a program that started over 20 years ago. It's in the lineage of Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi. It's connected to the renewal movement. And so you might have heard of the Roma Moose Synagogue in New York City or others around the country. It's not necessarily like Reform or Reconstructionist or conservative in being an affiliation. It's a movement. So there are rabbis that are renewal that are across different denominations. The program started as a hybrid model. They don't have a physical campus. They do intensive retreats at Elat Chaim, which is in Connecticut, and in Broomfield, Colorado, in non-pandemic times. But they started in a hybrid model so that people anywhere in the country at any stage in their life could engage in studies to be leaders in the Jewish community, rabbis, cantors, rabbinical pastors, and other programs. It has been fantastic. I have had a chance to take 2 classes per semester, fall and spring of my first year. I took 2 classes during the week-long intensive last year, and I'm about to take 2 more classes in the week-long intensive that starts on Monday of next week. Those classes range from biblical Hebrew, which I had to take a year of in the first year as a foundations, to classes associated with liturgy and prayer, classes associated with death and dying, counseling and pastoral care. It's been a really foundational experience for me, and I am so grateful, so grateful. I'm open to questions in my 3 minutes if you so desire, but I just wanted to share some of the basic details so you know what I'm launching into. Before I take questions, the analogy that I've shared with people, and I'll share this now, I feel like over the last number of years, and in particular in the last year, it feels like with Judaism, I've been walking by a chocolate shop, a really amazing chocolate shop. And every once in a while I get a whiff and it smells so good. And then every once in a while I've been going into the chocolate shop and tasting a taste of chocolate on the counter. And I feel like in the last year, I looked behind the owner of the chocolate shop and there's an entire warehouse of chocolate behind the owner. And I can't wait to try to dive into that. Thank you. Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka. I think I probably used 2 minutes. So if there's a question or two, happy to take them.
Ordination.
It does. It does lead to ordination through the lineage of Reb Zalman Shalomi Schachter, Schachter Shalomi, sorry. And I will, in what will be any more from 5 to 8 more years, will be ordained through the renewal movement as a rabbi. Yeah. God willing. Yeah. Other questions? We have time for one more, Mike, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to
Rose.
repeat the name of the program you're in.
It's Aleph, A-L-E-P-H, Aleph Ordination Program, and it's through the renewal movement.
Okay.
Yep. Rabbi Tears of Firestone, who came and led services for us years ago, and is deeply connected to a number of families in our community. Rabbi Tears of Firestone is one of the early ordained rabbis through the Aleph Ordination Program. Ed Staffman.
And then you went down to Cheyenne.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that are in our area and in our broader community. Yeah.
This sounds like it's going to be quite the celebration. When you get ordained.
I think we're going to need to have, I think there's going to be we'll need to have a pretty good celebration. We're going to need to have a pretty good celebration.
Kaylin is the guest of honor.
Kaylin is the guest of honor. Yeah.
You should invite Rabbi Firestone up here.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. Good. Thanks, everyone. Mike.
A question that you didn't ask now, he's not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a Q&A at the end.
Perfect. What I'm going to let. Looks like Stuart stepped out.
Well, I just want to thank Josh for really everything that he gives to this community. I know he's very grateful to us, and I just want to express my sincere gratefulness to have him and his family as part of this community. So thanks, Josh. What I'm going to do now is summarize some of the top level results from our recent membership survey. So we had about 55, 60 folks take our recent survey, and we've gotten some good feedback. And I just want to summarize again, like I'm saying, top level summary results here. Mary, do we print any of the?
I did not.
No. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
If you're interested in more of the results, come talk to Mary or myself, and we can share them with you. But generally, here are our findings. There's kind of top three things when we ask folks kind of how they're doing and what they're valuing right now. Outdoor events are certainly favored and valued highly right now. Weekly Shabbat services are also really favored and valued by our community. And then virtual access to Shabbats and other events also came up as an important piece of what we've kind of built out during the last 2 years. So we certainly are gonna try to have as many outdoor events as we can, weather permitting, and we're going to continue with weekly Shabbats, and we will certainly make sure that virtual access is available on our events. When we listed a lot of different activities and kind of asked folks, our community, which ones were most important to them that we do as a Jewish community, that we focus on as a board of directors, here's what came out as really important, kind of in order of importance. So the top level of importance was observance of Jewish holidays. Not a surprise there, but it's good that we get this data and we survey our congregation. So observance of Jewish holidays came out as the most important piece that folks are seeking out of the Jewish community, and we will certainly continue doing that. Second was B'nai Mitzvah, being able to train and execute this rite of passage ceremony for our youngsters. And it's been exciting to have a number of those in the past couple of years. Beyond that was life cycle services. And so I'm hearing that Josh is taking classes in pastoral counseling and life cycle services, I think fits well with what our community is seeking right now. And then the three that came in next were Beit Sefer, to continue educating our young people. I think that goes along with the B'nai Mitzvah being important, and the weekly Shabbats, as that came up on the previous question as well. And then Torah study has also been valued and favored by our community. And so those were kind of the 6 that came out as the highest values for the folks that took that survey. And then the last piece, we asked a question about the home for the Jewish community. And here we are in the Centennial Building. We've been here for a number of years. And we wanted to know, how our community felt about our home. Should we continue to lease a space like this? Should we look for an opportunity to buy a space? And what we heard from our community is that most people think that what we're doing right now fits our community pretty well, to continue leasing our space. A lot of community members wrote comments that like, hey, before I can give you my opinion on this, I need to know a lot more about what the opportunity to buy is and what it looks like. And we have a lot of very bright and skilled folks in our community that needed more information to really give us their opinion. So the board certainly has our eyes open for any unexpected opportunities, but we also understand we're in a pretty sweet spot where we are right now. So if you have other comments or questions about that, please talk to a board member or reach out to Mary, and this will be an ongoing discussion. All right, Mike's going to come up and share some quotes that folks left for us on the survey.
Yeah. No, these are completely unedited, no ad-libbing. These are directly what people wrote when we asked for comments about at the end of the survey. And I can honestly say that I agree and share these feelings myself. I love our congregation. Judd, Mary, and Joshua are amazing. I can say, setting friendship aside for a moment, that they are extremely gifted leaders. Judd's voice and presence are incomparable, and I have heard many cantors in many cities. Joshua is magnetic. His feelings bring people together. His sense of things is deep and growing deeper. Mary is, of course, a centering force, sheer energy. Watching the entire congregation rise to the challenge of the pandemic, growing stronger under adverse conditions has meant a lot to me too. And this is just I'm just reading about 4 or 5 of a dozen or more comments. King Kong kudos to Mary, Josh, and Judd, and the teachers and volunteers for all their hard work. So shines a good deed in a weary world. Next comment. We are new to the community and love how welcoming everyone has been. The holiday events have been a lot of fun to attend. And last quote, Mary and the board are doing an outstanding job of leadership in making the JHJC a dynamic and welcoming organization. Judd and Josh are the heart and soul of the religious part of the JHJC. Josh is awesome as our rabbi. I didn't write this. So now I'm going to introduce Rachel, our treasurer, who will discuss our coming budget, and then we'll have some questions about that and a few more comments, and then we'll have services. And just make sure they can see you in the screen. There you go.
They can see me. No one else can over the computer.
No, we can.
It's my pleasure to report on our very generous community. Mary?
Well, I was just thinking about the Zoom with God. Will you tell them if they want a copy, to email me?
Mary says if you would like a copy of our proposed budget to email you.
Yeah, email with Juju stuff.
Email info@jhjewishcommunity.org, and she can do it right now. Can we put it in the Slack, in the chat?
Okay, yeah, just.
We'll put it in the chat. So on the proposed budget, I basically have the past, the present, and the future. The first column, it was our budget for this fiscal year that's about to end. And, you know, we had proposed a balanced budget of $236,000, $236,200. And you can see in the middle column that the actual through May 31st, of course, June's not done yet. We received more donations. Old bills specifically was more than double of what we usually receive for old bills. And so our total income line is more than we expected. And our expenses are a little bit lower than what we expected. So we are going to end the year with a surplus, which is great. It's a great position to be in. We spent $112,000 on our direct religious activities, which includes the leadership training, all the Torah studies, all the services we put on.
That's on the second page of the budget. If you want to look at that line item.
Oh, no, that's the
No.
proposed.
Oh, that's proposed. Sorry.
That's proposed. And so, yes, we end the year with a surplus, which, like I said, is a great position to be in. Another thing that happened this year is that our endowment investment committee got back involved and has really taken charge of the endowment, which is nice to have. And so talking about the endowment, every year we do budget that we're allowed to pull 4% of that. This year, again, the board has decided not to take anything out because we're in a strong cash position and we don't need it. So we'd love to have that money stay growing for us for our future needs, whether it's a building or just sustaining the Jewish community. It's there for us. So our proposed budget for 2023 is a jump from the 2022 budget, and a few significant things there One is we're hoping to do another fundraising event. We haven't done one because of COVID in a bunch of years, but we threw that in the budget. Maybe we'll have another gala event or something. Mary's really good at those. What's that? Yes. And we budgeted the old bills back down to our normal expected levels of about $25,000, and then have budgeted in there $35,000 for our leadership fund. So that's where that is. And then the expenses that we've budgeted out, we will have a rent increase, and there have been some cost of living increases in the administration side of things. Let's see, the religious events of $134,000. I've detailed out really in rough numbers, but just to let you know where the money's going. So, you know, we've got the high holidays are a big one. Shabbats, doing weekly Shabbats, which I think, you know, Mike and Kevin mentioned has been pretty wonderful, are in there. And the leadership and the leadership training in there, and a swing and Sabbath and some other holidays. I mean, I think that's, you know, where the bulk of our money should go, is to our religious events and educating the kids and summer camp and direct, you know, program expenses. In the budget, you'll see there's a surplus from the 2021 old bills. That was, you know, one of the reasons we have such a surplus is that we have the old bills money and we need to spend that. It's restricted. We can't be used for really overhead or religious events. It can only be used in community events. And so because we haven't had an opportunity to spend that down this year, I've put it specifically in the budget to spend next year. So we're presenting a balanced budget of 272,200 this year.
I have a question.
And yes,
Curious question. Awesome to hear that we received grants for security. What would our security expense have been if we had not received that grant? And how's that being offset for the next year's budget?
yeah, so that's a really great question. The security expenses are running about $12,000 a year. And that's not changing. The grant shows up as income, the security expense stays as security expense. So we've budgeted in another $12,000 of security expenses, which is mostly, that budget is mostly for live human security at our events. And the income is, the grant is going into the donations line or income line.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Just help do something here real quick. You mind? I'm going to make Josh a host. So that he's host. You can add this budget for the Zoom.
Can I ask one more
good
question?
idea. Of course.
Are there other grants available for us that we would potentially qualify for that we could go after to help offset some operating expenses, which would then maybe put some of their membership dues and other things back into just overall savings?
That's a good question for Mary.
Yeah, usually grants don't do operating, but sometimes Jewish federations do, as for rural cities. And I haven't really had time to look. Right now, the DHS grant is pretty complicated.
Or to look at, like, maybe do we need to replace any prayer books that we use on the weekends, or any books for high holy days, to just things to plan for and to look at for the long term?
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the goal this year is to spend this $48,000. Well, we actually have 18 months to spend it this year.
For mobile bills.
But we just had a huge amount last year. I don't know if we're gonna get it this year, but last year everyone was just blown away.
Can the old bills be spent on security?
Mm.
Can you repeat the question? for the
Oh,
Zoom guy?
sorry. The question is, can the security grant be spent? No, sorry. Can old bills be spent on the security? And I'm gonna pass that to Mary because she knows the rules of the old bills money
think we
better than I
asked,
do.
And they said no, but I can re-ask. I
Hi,
can ask
Larry.
again. So, yeah, and we have money right now for security, so, it's like we have too much money going into that area right now. So I gotta spend down this, security grant for $40,000. But we do have cultural events we haven't done in a year and a half. So I think we can. I
So-
mean, we can use it for logo, anything non-religious, like our new logo or for,
We always,
Holocaust
yes, the
speakers,
Holocaust
but
speaker
it's,
is a good one.
anything that's just
The
not
movies
religious.
that we show, like when we do those movie screenings from Israel and the dancers, but that was a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
so we.
Yeah. So. Hi.
What's the size of the endowment right now?
So the endowment right now is over $500,000, which is nice. Yes, it's very good.
Does that just show up, that just shows up as the percentage that was available this year? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so I just, when I created this for the board, I looked at the endowment on that day and said 4% of that is this much. But we actually have never had taken the 4%. We've just been letting that grow.
Thank you for all the years of being treasurer for
Yeah.
our organization.
Yeah.
The Role that you don't see as forward facing as other roles in the community, and very much appreciated.
Thank you,
To know
Steph.
that you're keeping an eye out for us.
I'm trying. We it's nice. It's a generous community, and I feel like the board and Mary and everybody is pretty fiscally responsible. So it makes it easy that way. Thank you, Stefan.
Rachel, just a technical question. There's $48,000 at the bottom from old bills. Is that money we weren't allowed to spend?
So we get it
Can you
in,
repeat the question?
oh, sorry. So the question is, I put the surplus from the old bills in the budget, just because we haven't spent it yet and we need to
Because you
spend
haven't
it.
spent it, or because you can't spend it?
Well, we get it in October and we have 18 months to spend it, and we can't spend it on religious events. We can't spend it on overhead. So it's limited to what we can spend it on. And this year was such a high year. Normally we spend it on the Holocaust speaker and the movie screenings and things like that, but we didn't have a lot of movie screenings. And yeah, I mean, we did a couple, but
Well,
yeah, we
just got
didn't,
So much money.
yeah,
We had
and we got so much
$56,000.
money that we have not.
Normally we get about 14. So that shows you how much we got this year.
Yeah.
So my understanding from what you said earlier was that this was to be used for community events,
Cultural, non-religious. events.
Thank you.
cultural. And so what kinds of things do you have in mind, or shall we think
Well, we
about?
always do the Holocaust speaker. I'm working on maybe something this fall with Holocaust survivors, maybe like an Indian reservation or more rural towns around us. We can do films and movies. We can do a gala. We can bring in a cantor and have a dinner and, make great fundraise,
Dance
Yeah,
program.
those are the things we normally do. It's just this year we got so much money. It's just shocking.
And
But we
COVID.
spent a lot on the Holocaust speaker this year.
That
So
was good.
And some of the things we've done in years past, Jenny
Oh, yeah,
had a
the-
chamber
yeah,
music
that was great.
concert
Great.
with, professional musicians.
we just bought an ad in the program.
That basically community members can be part of. We've had
Interfaith.
rabbis come do a Friday Shabbat and then do a community program on interfaith relationships and Well, Laura Geller is a perfect example of someone who's written books on aging and things that are relevant to every single human being. And so engaging the greater community with Jewish leaders is another thing that Old Bill's money can be used for and has been used for and will be used for.
And I buy magazine subscriptions and books and things that are all back here, and a Holla Shabbat we do with the church members, that's Old Bills. Even part of Swinging Sabbath is Old Bills, because past the Shabbat is cultural, and it's the whole community is invited to come. So that's, you know, we lop off some of the budget for Swinging Sabbath. Expensive Old Bills.
Mary, what about camp?
Camp is,
Repeat the question, so.
Oh, sorry.
Zoom, people here are
yeah, I think we're
answers.
good. They would be texting me.
The question is, what about camp with Old Bills?
I don't think I think we've agreed that it's not applicable because it's religious. What are you looking
We can shift the camera
for? Oh, camera. Didn't you want to look at Rachel?
when you're talking. You're answering the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at TV. It's a house of nerds in here.
Would you sit- would you stand?
Camp, I don't think so. I mean, it technically it's a Jewish camp, right? And we teach Jewish religious things like Shabbat and prayers, even though and anyone can go to it. I mean, good question. Yeah, I think we've talked about it in the past.
Mary, this is an odd question, but I wonder, do we want to encourage folks to give directly to the community rather than through Old Bills? Because the money, we have a little more flexibility with
Yeah,
that.
each year when I send out membership information to mail, I put a little thing in there, little card that says, remember, if you give to Old Bills, we can't use it for Judd or Josh or anything religious, just so you know. It's gonna go to cultural events and non-religious
But I
events.
guess, does it get matched?
This year it got matched like 70%. It
Yeah,
was just
so,
crazy.
so.
I have a feeling it's not gonna be so fun this year. This fun, so, because I think the stock market's not so great, and so, but last year we had a big donor give through Old Bills. I don't know, you know, it's just, normally they don't, and so they did this year.
But there's quite the influx of new people.
Some new people, but if you do know that if you do get through Old Bills, it is matched, it does, it's matched usually by 50%, but you know, it's not gonna go to paying salaries or anything.
Okay. Do we need to vote? Are we supposed to vote? Does anybody know the
Do you want a
procedure?
motion to accept this as the budget?
I would love a motion to accept this as the budget.
Second.
Oh, okay, then all in favor? All right, our fiscal year budget has been accepted, so we can look forward to weekly Shabbats and some high holidays and another year of summer camp and all the good things that Mike and Kevin talked about.
Is this when someone's going to say, don't forget to make a donation?
Oh,
don't
don't
do
forget to
that.
make a donation. Thank you.
We've gotten so many donations.
Russ
Thanks,
has a
Rachel.
question. Yeah, I thought there were places for questions at the end.
Yeah, that's right now. That's right now. So yes, thank you, Rose, for kicking us off.
Computer for questions, or?
Let's use this one just otherwise.
Okay, okay.
So should I? Oh, okay, so that we can hear the congregation if they unmute.
Yeah,
off
I
the
can
screen.
unmute folks if they just raise their hand.
Oh, okay, and then, yeah, you can let us know. So folks in the Zoom guide, this is the time where we'll just open it up for questions or discussion from our membership. And so I'll just open it up. Are there any questions or discussion items? Yeah, Rose.
I just wonder how many kids are they safer?
I'll pass it over to John.
We had, this year, I believe, on a consistent basis, there were 10 to 12, but there were up to 15. That was kind of our max number. You know, some kids were not coming certain parts of the year. COVID, some kids were out of the valley for certain parts of the year. So 12 to 15, I think is where it stood.
Okay, and for folks that may not have heard that, 12 to 15 is kind of where we're at for Bait Safer this year. Other questions? Oh yeah, Rose has got it set. All right.
I also wondered what the numbers are for camp.
I need to double check with Caitlin. I think it's between 10 and 15 for each,
Okay.
for each section.
That's close.
I know one section is full, one section is almost full.
Okay, and I have one more question.
That was, I'm just going to
Okay.
repeat this for the Zoom guy. Rose asked how many folks are registered for camp, and it'll be 10 to 15 for each week of camp. It's usually the last 2 weeks of July.
And the other question is, when we give this Seacon alum scholarships, do people know what that means? Do people get it, and people in the audience?
The question is, one of the scholarships we give is called Tikkun Olam, and her question is, do folks know what that is when they apply for it? And
Yes. we do.
yes, it's translated on the application. And actually, we asked them, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we asked them to write an essay about how they have serviced others, how they have practiced Tikkun Olam.
Same with the preschool. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
they give a quote by Maimonides, Park Stage Races, and the kids need to write a short essay about teach a man to fit. What's the quote? Give a man a fish, feeds him for the day, teach him to fish. And so how does that apply to your trade school journey?
Okay.
And so I gave our first one out this year, and it was, so the scholarship was partly supported by the Zella COVID system.
Do you know what trade school the individual's going to go to?
He's the Mountain Electric.
Okay.
He's a young a kid named Geraldo, and he's going to apprentice at Mountain Electric.
Mountain Electric.
So-
Okay.
So glad.
Cool. All right. Other questions?
Not so much a question, but a comment. We're being such a small community and having the opportunity to fill out a survey. Just a thought. For example, knowing, for example, that the new logo was paid for through Old Bills funds, kind of a summary when that survey goes out. Here's a summary of things that happened. Hey, we received a grant for security and how that helped us. Or Old Bills money, if we were able to do X, Y, Z with that money. Just a thought, suggestion.
So
Doesn't have to be necessarily acted upon, but just putting it out there.
okay, and so the suggestion is to use the annual survey as also like a communication tool to let our
It's
congregation
actually
know.
by to every semi, it's by.
Biannual. Okay.
Just an opportunity.
No, I agree. Thank you. Thanks
Well,
for
when
that
you do
suggestion.
that though, Survey Monkey really puts up red flags. They don't want you to say too much.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
People get turned off and they don't take it.
Okay.
So they have all these marketing analytics that guide you. And I, even this one wasn't very good. I got low scores.
Too long,
From
too
the-
long. It
from
was
the
telling you, I'm
Survey
sure.
Monkey.
Survey.
We do want to start Shabbat at 6:15. I want to definitely get to everyone's questions that folks have. So any other questions around in the congregation?
I'll ask another question.
Yeah, please.
Hold on.
And I've got one thing that I'd love to get feedback on, and I'll do that at the end.
You
Yeah.
know, we used to have a fabulous Purim celebration with every age, from very active, very fun, and I don't know why it kind of petered out, but
What are you talking about?
Purim.
The petered out?
Yeah, it used to be the whole congregation was
Oh,
big,
in
and
general.
yeah,
We read the whole Megillah.
and yeah, the whole thing, and there were, I mean, everybody was there. It's a huge party, so I think it kind of faltered. I don't know.
Well,
Am I
this year was
wrong?
pretty good. I
Okay.
thought we had the Hamantash making party. We had about 50 people.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
so
the
that's
Wilson
good.
School.
And,
We
But
went
I was
bowling
all
a few years ago.
costumed and everything, so maybe we could do that
It's
again.
just I think we did a couple when no one shows
Yeah,
up
I
and then
know.
you just.
It got very sort of kid-centered. People stopped coming in the kids, so.
Well,
Yeah,
this
we
year
could-
wasn't too bad. but
yeah.
We were gonna go to the bowling alley and they sold the bowling alley. At the last
Right
minute.
out from under.
It's not open yet. Maybe you could buy it.
Oh, talking about a space, right? Okay, all right. Too soon, too soon. We certainly will answer other questions if they're out there. One piece of feedback that I'd love to get from folks is around how our congregation does Kaddish and how we say the names of those who have passed. I know the practice for this community has been to say the names of those from our community who have passed every week. And I just wanted to get some feedback from folks. My opinion is that this is going to get untenable over time. And I'm curious what folks think. How should we do this? What are some ideas out there And again, we need to find a system that's sustainable for us to do with our small staff. But I just wanted to open it up and get some feedback. What do you think about how we've been doing it? What should we move to? What are your thoughts? Folks on Zoom, if you unmute, you can go ahead and start speaking or let us know that you have a comment.
I think your thought is
Yeah.
worthy,
Yeah.
and over time, yes, as we grow as a community, it will have to be assessed. Is it something that's too cumbersome at this moment? I think might be a question or answer for the person that leaves services. But at this moment, being a congregant, it's not too much to hear. But there will be an inflection point where it would be.
Yeah. And I have gotten feedback from one congregant that he would prefer not to hear his relative's name every week. And so, I don't know where folks are with that as
I
well.
don't think it's necessary for the people. I think you don't have everybody's yesterday date, which is difficult. But
Yeah.
those you do, I think that would be adequate.
Yeah.
And maybe we could find some of the others. Maybe we could just designate, spread it out. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's who we are. Make it work. But
Right.
I think it's getting to be too long.
Okay.
And I can understand why people don't want to hear it every month, every week.
Thanks, Rose. Oh, Lou, yeah. And where's his voice going to come from? It's going to come from here.
Should be okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin.
John?
I will answer your question is I think that the list is so short, it takes so little time, and it's just a nice touch of remembrance at this point. And I would vote to bring this up at a point where it becomes more difficult to do in part of our services. But right now, I would really vote for continuing it. That may be my age, but
Okay.
I did want to make not a question, but a comment, and that's a thank you to the board for all they've done through this past year, in addition to our triumvirate that makes this place work. This is a special community, and to be a part of it is truly a gift. I have great gratitude for what you people are doing.
Thank you, Lou. That means a lot to hear that. I appreciate that. And I feel the same way. Oh, sorry. I should put it on me when I'm speaking. Thank you for saying that, Lou. And it's been great to see you both at our Shabbat services. And it was wonderful to see you in person in the park the other night. Other folks with thoughts or other questions? Owen?
I was just gonna suggest if we have enough surplus of the old bills fund that we bring back some music, either chamber music or other for a good public concert.
As an event that we can sponsor.
We're working on it.
I mean,
Oh,
Jenny
pleasure.
can object right now, but.
There we go.
Also.
Matisse Yahoo was here a few years ago. I remember hearing that. Well, yeah, thanks. Well, we usually around February we have in the past done a larger event for our community, and we're thinking about what might fit this year. So
Actually, we got to mention, we did collaborate in football arts festival, silent film with live klezmer music, which was really phenomenal. The film was from 1929 called The Ancient Law, and we worked with Margot Walk and her sister Cynthia, and we brought in 2 live musicians who had written music to the film. That was pretty cool. So those kinds of things are, where old bills lands.
We've been here for 2 years, but I remember at a meeting before then, there was discussion about cemetery or dedicated plots to the Jewish community. Where did we stand on that?
yeah, good question.
We got a few more.
We
Promise.
yeah, we did contact, is it the town councilors that need to approve that? And they approved a couple more plots for us.
So 6 more.
6 more, is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so 6 more plots for us. And so
It's two
yeah.
per plot.
Does that bring it to
Say again?
2 per plot.
2 per plot, okay.
So what is
What's
our
that?
inventory?
A dozen. 12.
I mean, if you're new, that's completely new. And I think that speaks to how you incorporate new members, those kind of basic parts of our faith, like burial and cemetery that we're talking about. So I have no idea what you just talked about. So if someone would give me one paragraph. The idea that the town council is voting on a Jewish cemetery plot is so foreign to me. I would not know what you were talking about. So I just, as you know, that's important because we're talking about Kaddish right now. And I think that's part of the conversation. And though new, I think when we say it in community, wherever we are, that standing and saying it together, if I don't know someone, matters. It matters to Maggie, myself. But I hadn't thought about being buried here. And I mean, I don't know how you get cremated in Wyoming. So that's a whole other conversation.
We have full services.
Tell you that some years ago, we consecrated land. Is a rule if you're buried in Jackson, you don't buy a plot ahead of time. And they made an exception for us so that we could sanctify this piece of land. It got filled and now we have more. What is that, 8? A dozen, you
I
said?
think 6 plots of 2 each. is what I
Okay.
understand.
And there hasn't been real Jewish burial practices here. The one that I was involved with years ago, the person was out of town and that was taken care of in this larger city. And then they came here, but because, I'll whisper this, because Al Zuckerman is in charge of the cemetery, he was able to convince them that this is what we need to do,
Okay, thank you.
as far as I understand it.
Helps to know people.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and thanks for that feedback, Rob.
That's good to know. We should-
All right. At this point, I'm gonna turn it back over to Mike. We're gonna share a few celebrations with you all and some gratefulness that we have, and then we'll transition into our Shabbat service. If any questions weren't answered, please come talk to us and let us know. And we'll do our best to answer them. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. We're almost done with this. And so I, as one of the board presidents, want to thank directly Mary Grossman for all her amazing organizational. You really make it happen, and it's like a home run every time. So Judd, your music continues to engage, amaze, and thrill all of us. We're just so grateful. The songs stay with me all week. It's lovely. And Josh, this August will be 13 years. Well, since he bar mitzvahed my son Ben. And I want to thank the board, Rachel, and everyone else, Kevin, for all that you do, Lori, and everyone else for, being behind the scenes. A special thank you to Andrew and Rebecca Appleberg, who so generously let us use their barn house for so many events this year. It was really, really sweet. And then a thank you for everyone who's here, whether you're here virtually on Zoom or whether you're here in person. Thank you for showing up. This is why we do this. And for everyone who joined us over the last 12 months, either by Zoom or now in person, again, thank you and keep coming, and Shabbat Shalom. It's time for services.
You guys, we're gonna put a candle and a bowl on each table.
What do you think? Yo, for those on Zoom, we're gonna do a little transition of this space. So if you need to use the restroom, if you'd like to go get your Shabbat candles, take a couple minutes. We're gonna get started here. I'm gonna guess in just a couple minutes, but we're gonna take a second just to get all set up. Well, hello. Good to see you. Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Bev.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
So what happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
I haven't seen you for a couple weeks.
I've been in the hospital, sweetie.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've been in the hospital for almost a month. Maybe it's been a month.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm okay though. I'm okay. I'm not perky, but I'm okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. On the mend then.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm hoping so.
Well, I hope
Um,
so too.
Yeah, so we'll see. How have you been? Hello, hello.
Well, I'm okay. Bill had a really big cut on his leg, which is why I'm late. I have to put a Band-Aid on it, bandage on it
Oh,
twice a day.
wow.
I have to change bandages twice a day. So,
Just to keep, well, hey, it's worth it. It's worth every second. Every, legs and stuff are pretty important.
yeah, they are.
It's not like, oh, I've got a boo on my face. No, legs are pretty important. Yeah. I've
That's for
learned that
sure.
very quickly. I've learned that very quickly.
Yes.
I'm doing all right. I'm not perky. I'm really not. I've been here forever, I think. I think I was born here and came back, even though I wasn't born here. Yeah, people have been just really kind because so many know me from so long ago. And,
Yes.
others just know me. And
Right.
so, people have just been very, very gracious to me, which I appreciate greatly, I can tell you.
Well, you're
And
always such a wonderful person as far as I can tell.
well, I'm a bitch when I'm hurting.
I think that's true of all of us.
Yeah, I'm not, I'll go, do you think you could get that medicine? And I want to say before I'm dead, but I don't say that. And I'll say, I said, I was supposed to have it like an hour and a half ago. I really, really need it now because I'm going.
That must be the end. Are you there, Beth?
To speak. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How did I lose you? I didn't even.
I don't
touch-
know.
That was ridiculous. Anyhow, so your magnaphone is unmuted. What is?
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I can't tell.
Do you want another one? I think there's more.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Somebody's on again. Bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, shiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bim. Shiri biri biri, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shiri biri biri, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, woo, Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti בתוך עם ואנחנו נבקש prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Should we bless some kids, light some candles?
Let's put some kids and light some candles.
Where's the kids?
Who's got some
Who
kids?
brought the kids?
I see 2 kids and 2 candles.
They're free, we let them out for free. anytime.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of blessings.
That's
We're not on fruit, we're not for sale.
Not for sale.
Amen.
Good for you.
We got kids here who are not for sale.
That's great.
Well, let's, if you have kids close by, bring them close. If you have your kids far away, maybe close your eyes for a second and imagine where they are in the world. If you don't have kids in the world, if you don't have kids, think about all the kids in our community, in the world that you helped to raise up. Parsha Shalach this week talks about the next generation. Parsha Shalach this week, we're right on the edge of the promised land. And in this week's Parsha, we get the unfortunate news that we're not going to get into the promised land except if you're Joshua or you're Caleb, or if you're the next generation. When we bless our kids, let's recognize that all the work and all the love and all the heart we put with our hands into this world, as Pirkei Avot, as the teachings of our fathers share, we got to do that work. And we do it knowing we might not see the end product. And we pass that tradition to our children, the children in our community. That hope of the promised land, that hope for a better tomorrow. So bring those kids close. Bring those kids close. If you're looking for the blessing, it's on page 48. And we have Deborah here. I love when Deborah says this blessing so much so. Deborah, can I invite you?
Sure, I can go.
Okay. She doesn't need the book. I love it.
Okay.
I'm going to just meditate with where my kids are in the world right now.
When we start, can you hear me?
Yes, let me, sure, sorry.
We start with the boys, and we say, Yisbucha Elohim Kivmaim V'Nasha. May God bless you as He blessed Ephraim and Manasseh. And then we bless the girls. Yismeich Elohim Kesora Rivka Rachel V'Leah. May God bless you as He blessed Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And then we say together for all children everywhere, especially those who are suffering in Ukraine and Syria and Africa now. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yoher Adonai panav elecha v'yikunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Josh, you want to read the translation?
May Adonai bless you and watch over you. May Adonai shine her countenance upon you and be gracious to you. May Adonai look towards you and grant you peace.
Amen.
Amen. Let's light some candles. Rose, you're right there. You like those? Oh, I think you should use one match. And see if those lovely guys are. We light these candles. No matter our week, whether it was filled with challenge or filled with blessing, with the light of Shabbat, the light of all that is good in the world, enter into our hearts.
Carl, can you share Ma'ariv Aravim with us? Carl, are you there?
He's there.
He may be muted. Right.
I'm here. Hello? Uh-oh. But I can't hear you, Jack.
Can you go ahead and read Ma'ariv Aravim?
Yeah.
Page 16.
60?
16, 1, 6.
Right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'arim, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, סדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו, בורא יום ולילה. לפני שך והושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה צבאות שמו.
אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב אביב.
With eternal love, you have loved the house of Israel, your people. Torah and mitzvot, laws and statutes you taught us. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we arise, we will discuss your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever and ever, because they are our life and the length of our days, and on them we will meditate day and night. Never take away your love from us. Blessed are you, Adonai, love over your people Israel.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תשים ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני. אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם כמוך פעלים בתונה, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, לא אני לא תוסף פלא, לא אני לא תוסף פלא. ראו בניך, אור קיים לפני משה, זה אלי עלו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. את יעקב וגאלו, מי Yata Zachmi Meinu Baruch Ata Adonai Kapa Yisrael Oh, I was wondering what was making that sound. I got tzitzit in my strings. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu Malkeinu lechaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu Malkeinu lechaim. Ushmot zetenu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad. Sometimes I wake beneath the moon. Thank God I'm breathing. I say, please don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, praying for the people to say, we don't wanna fight no more, there'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu Malkeinu lechaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu Malkeinu lechaim. Na 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 na
It's in our books on page 25.
na 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 na
Back deck.
na 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 Adonai.
Invite you to join me.
Na 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 Smatai na 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 Ufiagi Ufiagi Tehillateka na 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 Adonai na 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 Smatai Tiftach na 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 Ufiagi Ufiagi Tehillateka na 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 יהי רצון אם לפי והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהי רצון אם לפי והגיון ליבי לפניך. Page 31. Adonai tzuli, Adonai tzuli, Adonai tzuli, v'gwali. Adonai tzuli, Adonai tzuli, Adonai tzuli, v'gwali. Yeheyu l'tzon im lifim בהגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו רצון אם לפי בהגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צולי, אדוני צולי, אדוני צולי בגבוהי. Adonai tzuli, Adonai tzuli, Adonai tzuli, v'gwali. If you'd like to mention the name of somebody that needs healing, you can mention it out loud. If you'd like to mention the name of someone that needs healing, you can
All the
mention
women
it.
of the United States.
Amen.
Yes, yes.
Miriam Bat Shoshana.
Al,
From Jay.
thank you, Al.
Dan Levin.
Phil Rogers. Maggie Radford. Richie Blasco. Devorah Chaya. Bob Miriam Mitzidov.
האופן ישבו עליהם ומכבש לעצמותם, מונה מספר לכוכבים, לכולם שמות תקרא. Healer of the brokenhearted, binder of their wounds, counter of uncountable stars, you know where they are. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Healer of the brokenhearted, binder of our wounds, counter of uncountable stars. You know who we are. Elena's on page 41. Elena לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגאי העשות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו כהמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. והשב אותם אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
his song. That was his friend. He'd always go big.
He'd go big.
On Bayom. Huh?
Yeah. He had a good voice.
Yes, he did.
That's why when we were talking about whether we should read all the names or not, when we read the names, I always picture everyone. And I've tried lately picturing them, instead of picturing them and feeling sad, trying to picture them smiling. You know, picture them enjoying life. That makes me feel better.
Well, along those lines, let's take a moment to remember our loved ones who are not with us, our community members and our loved ones. If you're commemorating a yard site, if you're in a period of mourning, or you just want to share the name of a loved one who's no longer with us, and you'd like to bring their name into our community, let's create that space together, here in our shul and in our synagogue.
Marjorie Weinstein, Charles Abrams.
This is the yard site of my mother, Jean Langer Davis, who was widowed at age 60 and spent 14 years volunteering for the Israeli army and orphans. It's her yard site.
I want to mention David Holmes because when Mary said his name, David was a founding member and an active volunteer, but he also needed our help. So I went to his funeral thinking nobody would be there. And I have to tell you that people got up in tears, how he had helped them. People who said I could ring his bell at 2 o'clock in the morning, he'd talk to me for hours, he'd listen to me. Or another young woman who said, I went to an AA meeting, and David didn't make a secret, he was in AA, and David called me up to take me to the next meetings to make sure I would continue to go. And a very leather and chain guy who was practically in tears that David had helped him. He had driven him across the state because he had to appear in person again. I mean, and this, you know, I sat there, this was, and Larry was there. This,
We planned it.
we had
to do the military.
This was, and he had military honors. This was a David that we only barely knew. We knew a different David, and it was so impressive.
Well, there were 3 groups. Remember, there was the fly fishing group.
Yeah.
There was the AA group, and then there was us, and none of us knew each other.
Right.
And so we all came together for the first time for David's funeral,
Right.
which had very complicated military honors, and
Right.
there was about 150 people there. We just thought he was this kind of lonely guy that we loved, but we had to help. And here he had this 2 other lives that
And
we never knew.
people weeping. I mean, people weeping about what he had done for them.
It's cool.
And, you know, it was really wonderful to see that. So I just wanted to mention
One of my
it.
favorite funerals.
Yeah.
Besides my father.
Your father's was great.
What, yeah.
Anyway, David.
Henry Traxler, Sawyer Gordon.
Mary Wright Clark.
Oh, Mary, that's nice.
A community member, a former student who passed away just this week, Kyle. I'm thinking about him.
And we should honor all of the children and parents who have been killed in senseless war.
May all those names, all those people whose names were mentioned, may their memories be for a blessing. And let's read, if it's okay for folks. For now, we'll continue this tradition, and we'll look at it again. But for now, we'll read the names of our community members. Dr. Stuart Joel Abrams, Todd Bergstein, Alan Doss, Ellen Doss, Arthur Neil Fracht, Alan Hirschfield, Susan Herman, David Holmes, Jeffrey Joel, Stephen Capello, Phil Colaney, Emmy Knobloch, David Kornblum, Hillary Leberfeld, Jan Levinson, Sally Mortensen, Harry Reeser, Ron Sapol, Scott Stachel, Elliot Sussman, David Turkier, Herb Lipp, Jim Wolfenson, Elaine Wolfenson, Larry Nussdorf, Ron Novak, Eli Sudlin, David Goldfarb, Bob Berlin,
Frank London.
and Frank Lundy. May their memories be always for a blessing. Warner's Kaddish is on page 44, and I'd ask if it's in your tradition to stand if you're in mourning, or if you're willing to stand and support those who are. Let's do that together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'amad yivach yirtei ve'amich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'izman karev ve'emru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei amayah. Yisparach yishtabach yispahar yispanam yisnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Yeshusha v'yichu. Ve'elam yimkol b'yachata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Daviram v'yamam v'yrum amen. Yehi Shlam Rabbah v'yishmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yrum amen. Oseh shalom b'brama, u'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yakol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'brama,
shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
If you think I'm gonna sit on your lap, you gotta.
My dastardly plan didn't work.
Just don't sit on the guitar.
All right. I'm like King Kong sitting on his lap. Shabbat shalom, everyone. It's so great to see all these wonderful shining faces here. And thank you, first to the board, the board of directors. They're amazing bosses, and I have it easy. And for everyone who came to the annual meeting. Plus, I want to just point out a few founding members here from way back. We've got Larry, Rose, Bert, anyone else who claims founding status? Probably us. No, not really. Close. Deborah, yeah, we're in that era. So thanks for coming and pitching in your comments tonight. We have Thai plate, food back here. We have some pad Thai and pad see ew. But for those who are gluten-free, let the gluten-free people go first, because all we have is some vegetable fried rice, like Deborah and Stefan. Anyone else who's seriously gluten-free, go first. Then we have a bat mitzvah tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at St. John's Church for Piper Benjamin, followed by a slight oneg. Next week, it's you and me, Deborah, right? And some friends.
Adrian.
Oh, good. Adrian, yay. Okay,
Yes.
I thought next week it's Shabbat in the park. We're going to be at Bowen Bircher Park.
Great.
And it's going to be women-led and a little light oneg, no meal after, but a nice oneg after. And so please come down 6:30 Friday, July 1st. Torah study tomorrow is at 4, not 10 a.m. 4 p.m.
Oh, here?
Zoom.
Oh, so-
We're gonna be doing
a
some
couple in July or August.
in person
as well, upon request.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so we got some August events are on the calendar. Grab wine for Kiddush. 2 challah are on the tables. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So good to see you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Always good to hear your voice.
Oh, well, it's good to be here, to be heard. I need some wine.
Yeah, take some wine.
I'll
go fetch another one.
Thank you.
Join the kids club?
Sure, whatever. Do whatever's easy.
Give me 1 second.
If you've got some wine at home.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon hilanu, zikron lema'aseh b'reshit. Ki hu yom tehila lemiklei kodesh, zecher l'yetziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta, v'yatanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Hey, if you're a little boy and have dirty hands, touch the hollow. Just touch it in one spot.
Excuse me.
One spot, dirty hands. Here, let's do this.
All right.
I'm gonna touch this, guys. This is the dirtiest one.
Not too much. Like all that.
There we go.
Perfect.
We're connected.
That area.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Okay, cool.
Good job. Way right.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. That is a big piece of hollow, Willie.
Tidy up here, little son.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm working on that.
You're welcome.
When my husband, we used to have a house in
Tidy
Washington.
up here.
Okay, let me get some gluten-free.
I think people can just sit.
You know, the pad thai should be gluten-free because that's typically made with
Yes.
rice noodles. Yeah, that's rice noodles too.
Hi everybody, Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah. So, matter what. Hey, you want some food?
We miss you in person. Good to see you on the Zoom.
Shabbat shalom.
So, if you would just like you my chance, like I usually.
Bye Bev. I'm glad you were able to dial in. Take care.
I need to look up the